To the Middle East now, Palestinian civilians still caught in the crossfire of the Israel-Hamas conflict. Fuel remains in short supply, and according to the Palestinian Red Crescent, hospitals are on the brink of collapse.
Those conditions have prompted the U.S. to call on the Israelis to agree to a humanitarian pause in the fighting. But Israel says it wants hostages released first. ABC's Ines de la Cuetara reports from the war zone.
Israeli armored vehicles are moving across the Israel-Gaza border in search of Hamas militants as the northern region of the territory around Gaza City continues to come under heavy bombing from Israel's defense forces. Tall flames leapt into the air as smoke rose above buildings as the IDF said its offensive was targeting the militants' tunnel network. The IDF says they have destroyed at least 130 Hamas tunnels since the beginning of the war. Hamas releasing video it claims shows its fighters are still firing rockets into Israel despite the Israeli ground offensive. Meanwhile, thousands of Palestinians continue to head south, trying to flee the fighting. The Red Cross appealing for protection for civilians and aid workers in Gaza, the agency saying it had to abandon a plan to deliver medical supplies to Palestinians in Gaza City after one Red Cross worker was injured and two of its vehicles damaged.
These are not conditions under which humanitarians can work and meet urgently required needs of the civilian population.
Many, including President Biden, are calling for a pause in the fighting so that more civilians can escape and additional hostages freed. But Secretary of State Antony Blinken, in Japan with his G7 counterparts, believes an immediate ceasefire would be counterproductive.
The unacceptable result it would likely bring about: Hamas left in place with more than 200 hostages, with the capacity and stated intent to repeat October 7th again and again and again.
In Israel, photos of some 240 people believed held hostage by Hamas were placed on seats reserved for guests at Israel's parliament. The chairman of the body said lawmakers are praying for their safe return. There are reports of negotiations to release roughly a dozen hostages in exchange for a 3-day humanitarian pause. But according to the reports, Israel won't accept just 10 to 15 hostages. They want at least 50 hostages to be released. Ines de la Cuetara, ABC News, Jerusalem.